In 1845, 129 men sailed into the Arctic with enough food for 3 years. They had the best technology the British Empire could offer. They were never seen alive again. But in 1984, when scientists finally found them, what they discovered was so horrifying, it rewrote everything we thought we knew about survival. Captain Sir John Franklin was 59 years old when he took command of HMS Erebus and HMS Terror. These weren't ordinary ships, they were floating fortresses, steam-powered engines, reinforced iron hulls, heated cabins, a library of 1,200 books, the finest china and silverware. The crew even brought a hand organ that played 50 different songs. Queen Victoria herself blessed the voyage. But there was one piece of technology on those ships that would doom every single man aboard. And Franklin had no idea. On July 26, 1845, the crew encountered a whaling ship near Greenland. They were in high spirits. They laughed. They joked. They handed over letters to send home. "We are very comfortable," wrote one officer. Another man wrote to his wife about how well-fed they were. Then the whalers watched as the Erebus and Terror disappeared into the fog. Those letters were the last words anyone would hear from the expedition for 12 years. But when the truth finally emerged, those cheerful letters became the most haunting documents in naval history. For 2 years, Britain heard nothing. That wasn't unusual. Arctic expeditions often went silent. But by 1847, Lady Franklin grew desperate. She begged the Admiralty to send rescue missions. They refused. "Franklin has 3 years of supplies," they assured her. But Lady Franklin knew something they didn't. Her husband had sent her a private letter before departing. In it, he confessed something that terrified him. He wrote about a dream he'd had, a premonition, and what he saw in that dream was exactly how he would die. In 1850, the first rescue expedition found something on Beechey Island. 3 graves, 3 wooden headstones, 3 crew members all dead in the first year. John Torrington, age 20. John Hartnell, age 25. William Brain, age 32. But here's what made no sense.
Graves.
These men didn't die from cold or starvation. The graves were carefully constructed, elaborate. The bodies were properly buried. Something killed these men while the expedition still had full supplies, while they were still safe. The autopsies revealed something in their bodies, something that was slowly poisoning them all. But the doctors in 1850 missed it completely. The rescue team documented everything. The graves were built with precision, wooden boards carefully fitted, headstones hand-carved with loving detail. These weren't hasty burials. Someone had taken time. Someone had cared. The permafrost had frozen the bodies solid within hours of burial. What the rescuers didn't know was that these 3 young men would become time capsules, perfectly preserved witnesses, waiting 134 years to tell their story, waiting to reveal the invisible killer that was already spreading through the entire crew. By 1854, explorer Dr. John Ray was trading with Inuit hunters near King William Island when they told him a story that shocked the British Empire. They described finding white men, starving, stumbling through the snow. The men were dragging boats, in the middle of the ice, miles from water. The boats were filled with bizarre items: silverware, soap, curtain rods, a writing desk. They'd abandoned food supplies to carry useless luxuries. The Inuit offered to help them hunt. The white men refused. And then the Inuit told Ray something so disturbing, the British government tried to suppress his report. Dr. Ray couldn't make sense of what the Inuit described. One boat sledge they found weighed over 1,400 pounds. Inside, 8 sets of silverware, silk handkerchiefs, a cigar case, 7 pounds of tea, but no Arctic survival gear, no extra boots, No sleeping bags. It was as if the men couldn't distinguish between what would save them and what was worthless. The Inuit said the white men looked confused, angry. Some were talking to people who weren't there. They walked in circles. They fought each other over nothing. These weren't the actions of starving men. These were the actions of insane men. The Inuit told Dr. Ray they found bodies, mutilated bodies, skulls crushed open, bones with knife marks, bones that had been boiled. The word that shattered Britain, cannibalism. The greatest naval expedition in British history had resorted to eating each other. Charles Dickens himself wrote articles calling the Inuit liars. Lady Franklin spent her fortune trying to disprove it, but she couldn't escape one horrifying fact. If cannibalism happened, it meant the men had gone completely insane, and something had driven them there. Something worse than just hunger. Britain couldn't accept it. This was the Royal Navy, the most disciplined fighting force on Earth. These were officers and gentlemen. They'd rather die than resort to such savagery. Or so everyone believed. Charles Dickens published 5 articles defending the crew's honor. He claimed the Inuit were savages who didn't understand what they saw. The Admiralty officially rejected Ray's report. Lady Franklin used her influence to have him publicly discredited. But Ray had physical evidence. Pieces of uniforms, naval buttons, and bones. Bones with tool marks that no animal could make. In 1859, searchers found a cairn on King William Island. Inside, a single sheet of paper. The only written record from Franklin's final days. It was actually 2 notes. The first, written in May 1847, was cheerful, all well. Sir John Franklin commanding the expedition. All well. But then, someone had scrawled a second message in the margins. Different handwriting. Frantic. Dated April 1848. Sir John Franklin died June 11, 1847. Total loss of life to this date, 24. And start on tomorrow 26th for Back's Fish River. But here's the chilling part. Franklin had died just 1 month after that first note. They'd lied. Even in their official record, they lied about how well things were going. For 130 years, those 3 graves on Beechy Island kept their secrets. Until 1984, when Canadian anthropologist Dr. Owen Beattie got permission to do something unprecedented. Exhume the bodies. When his team broke through the permafrost, they found John Torrington perfectly preserved. His eyes were still open. His skin was still soft. He looked like he'd died yesterday. But when they ran tissue samples, the results were staggering. His body contained 600 parts per million of lead. The safe level is 10. These men were being poisoned. But by what? The answer was in those 8,000 tin cans. The expedition's food supply. In 1845, canning was new technology. The British Navy awarded the contract to the lowest bidder, a man named Stephen Goldner. He had 1 year to can 3 years of food. Impossible. So he cut corners. He used thick lead soldering to seal the cans quickly. Every time the crew ate, they were consuming lead. And lead doesn't just poison, it causes violent psychosis, paranoia, rage, hallucinations. The symptoms match everything the Inuit described. Franklin's men didn't just starve. They went violently insane first. The note said they abandoned ship in April 1848. 105 men started walking south toward a trading post 600 miles away. They never made it. Inuit hunters found their trail. Boat sledges, bodies, scattered supplies. One group had dragged a 700-pound boat containing towels and soap but no sleeping bags. Lead poisoning had destroyed their judgment. They couldn't tell soap from survival gear. Some bodies were found with their mouths stuffed with lichen, moss, boot leather. Anything to stop the hunger. The last survivors likely died in summer 1848. They were within 100 miles of help. They just couldn't think clearly enough to reach it. For 170 years, the Erebus and Terror remained lost. Until 2014, when Canadian researchers found the Erebus in 36 feet of water. In 2016, they found Terror, perfectly intact, sitting upright on the ocean floor. Cameras sent inside revealed something extraordinary. Plates still stacked in cabinets. Bottles still on shelves. Everything organized. Deliberately abandoned. The crew had carefully shut the doors, sealed the hatches, and walked away in perfect order. Even as they descended into madness, they maintained naval discipline to the very end. But one cabin door was found wide open, Franklin's cabin. And inside, something was missing. Franklin's journal was never found. The official ship's log vanished. Whatever Franklin wrote about those final months is gone forever. Did he realize the food was poisoned? Did he watch his men descend into madness? Did he understand in his final moments that the greatest technology of the British Empire had killed them all? We'll never know. But here's what we do know. 129 men sailed into the Arctic with supreme confidence. Not one came home, and the thing that killed them was something they ate for dinner every single night, believing it was keeping them alive. The Franklin expedition remains one of history's darkest cautionary tales, where cutting-edge technology and human arrogance met nature's brutal truth. If this story gripped you as much as it did us, hit that subscribe button. We dive deep into history's most haunting mysteries every week. And let us know in the comments, what lost expedition should we investigate next? Thanks for watching, and sleep well.